かえり。おかえり、あかり。
So I can't be the only one that yelled out, "Hug her tightly, damn it!" I know I can't be alone on that. And I think, the reason I love this anime is because it really shows us something that maybe you haven't inherently been thinking about, but it was something that I was really thinking about because it's so intentional and it's such great writing, right? Like, if we come back to the moment where Jiro and Akari are getting ready for the festival, right? And Jiro is getting Akari ready, and she spends a moment and she says, "Hey, look at all these ribbon patterns, all these ribbon variations that you can simply do for me. What do you think is the best, right?" And Jiro, with confidence, is like, "Oh, I really like the ribbon. I think the ribbon will look the best on you," or he says something to that effect, right? I like the ribbon the best, whatever the case is, right? And immediately she's like, "Why would you do that? It's for like kids, for children." She's like, "Manami is more mature than that. He would have more refined taste. So do something different," right? She picks a different one for him to do. But what this has shown me, and this is not the first time that it's done this. This is like the second or maybe third time it's done this. And I think that Jiro had a very similar incident that happened before too. And she said pick, maybe it was like the pastries or something, like something sweet or something. And she's like, "Oh, he has more refined taste than that." Is what this has really shown me, and this is the point that I'm trying to get to, is she has this fascination. She has this picture, she has Manami, I don't want to say on a pedestal. She has this idea of who Manami is, and it couldn't be further from the truth. The reality is he's hardworking, he is dedicated to pleasing people, he's a kid at heart, he likes sweet things, right? And at this point, the person who knows him the best at this point, outside of his friend group, is Shiori, right? And this is because she spends an insane amount of time with him. But what has been shown over and over again is Akari really doesn't know who he is. So she likes him on a surface level. Probably, A, for his looks, how he looks, whatever, that he's, into sports, whatever. She likes the idea of him, but she doesn't really know him yet, right? And I think that's a very important thing because I think, at some point when they break the barrier and she begins to find out more of who he is, she's going to realize that the idea of him was more alluring than him himself, right? And I think that Jiro is someone that suits her taste more. She can be herself, she can be open, she can be free, she can be vulnerable, she can be basically all this person that she portrays. She can reel all that back in and just be who she is with Jiro, and he can actually like her for that, right? Not saying that Manami wouldn't necessarily, but you could tell he's never really even thought of her like that because he has so much shit going on, right? And maybe if he were able to, maybe he would like those traits as well. But I think that I see this anime pushing Akari more and more towards Jiro for a lot of things, and I think that conversely, I've seen it push Jiro more and more towards Akari because in Jiro's case, it's a very similar thing, right? He has this idea of who Shiori is. And I think that because they've been friends for so long, the difference between Akari Manami and Shiori and Jiro is the fact that he does know her pretty well. Again, he hasn't gotten into that deep level because they've just been friends and he's had this weird awkwardness, But at the end of the day, they're close, and Shiori, she could open up to him to an extent, but she does that more than she does with anybody else, right? On a list of very close people to her, he's on a very short list. So I think that they do have more there, but the fact is at this point, even in this episode, all he was thinking about was Akari, the fireworks, Akari, the time that I spent our cuddling. She cried, and immediately, like, he later on in the episode, he was like, I felt relieved when she was crying, but at the same time, everything was put on hold, and he was like, I'm out the effing door, right? And none of his thoughts, flashbacks, or anything was Shiori there, even though he just had was able to spend or were able to have a kiss with her, right? you would think that if you were able to kiss the person that you're madly, quote unquote, in love with, that would be the person that would inhibit all of your thoughts. But at this point, all of his thoughts were surrounded around Akari. And again, it's one of those things to where he thinks he loves Shiori, but at this point he's falling in love with Akari and vice versa, which, again, I think you can attest that this is just really great writing. And that's one of the things that impresses me the most about this anime. It makes it so enjoyable to watch, is not only the really cool fan service, the pretty funniness that it has in the moments, you know, it has pretty funny moments, but it's also the really good writing about two opposites attracting and the way that they're attracting, right? And I think that Jiro, this episode too, says something really important. It's like, if this marriage, this school marriage thing ends, what will it be? Will we be friends? Will we be classmates? And I was kind of hoping that he would, in a vulnerable moment, that he would actually ask that of Akari and get a real answer from him. And I think eventually they're gonna need to break that barrier to see, okay, if this ends, what's next for us? You know, and there needs to be an us there. So I don't know. I really like this episode quite a bit. I think it was a really good episode. It was really telling of their relationship, and I'm really invested in their relationship, and I think it's really good. But let me know what you guys thought of this episode down in the comments below. Let me know what you think about Akari and Jiro's love, growing and blossoming. Let me know what you thought about everything. Let me know if you didn't like something specifically. And of course, as always, appreciate you for watching this review. Sorry it was late. This week's been a little crazy on my gaming channel. If you guys don't know, you guys can check out my gaming channel in the comments or in the description. See all the crazy stuff I've been doing there. But regardless, thank you guys for watching this review, and I'll see you guys next week. Peace.